everybody! It's time to talk about Disney. I also have sleepy girl syndrome. I'm very tired. I slept like all day. I haven't done anything today. I got out of bed at like noon. I ate a hamburger. I took another nap. And then I got up and did nothing for another 2 hours. And then I was like, okay, time to stream. I'm exhausted. So, you started under Teeny, yay! Okay, we are going to talk about some movies. We're going to talk about The Rescuers, The Fox and the Hound, and Black Cauldron. And I'll be upfront with you, Igloo. You're not going to like my opinions about the Black Cauldron. I'm going to be real. I didn't love Black Cauldron. So, yeah, we're just going to get started. So, of these three films, I had only ever seen Fox and the Hound. So, this was the first time I watched. I mean, it isn't a movie for everyone, yeah. I had never seen The Rescuers or Black Cauldron before doing this. So, yeah, I had seen Fox and the Hound before, but it had been a while. So, we're just going to talk about The Rescuers. So, The Rescuers is very cute. We're going to do our little, like we usually do. So it starts out, we see this little girl dropping so the movie starts within the credits, which is really nice. They kind of tie, I like when movies do that, where they kind of tie the opening credits into the story. So we see a little girl drop a bottle off into a river, and it says like help or something. And then we just kind of watch the bottle's journey throughout the credits, and it's really cute. And it looks like, let me see if I can show you guys this. Let me see if I can get a good shot. So like, yeah, there we go. It looks like they were painted, like these backgrounds were painted on canvas, and then like shots were taken of them, and it looks really cool, these opening credits. So that was fun. I'm just going to skip through the opening credits. So some mice find this bottle, and then it cuts to United Nations, New York. And we see all these people coming in, and then we see purple background like usual for your Pokemon team. Yeah, that works. I like purple. I have a nice little Pokemon team. And since I've also got Sylveon over here, I can switch my Pokemon out. Oh, and I need to actually purchase the thing on Etsy, so I will do that. Just send me a text if I don't do it this week. Just send me a text if I don't do it by like Wednesday, because I'll probably forget tonight, but I'll do it tomorrow. So then we see a little mouse jump out of someone's suitcase. And we see all these little mice, and they go to a little mouse hole, and it's called the Rescue Aid Society, and it says they have a summit meeting. And we see all these little mice. And the Rescue Aid Society, and then they're having a meeting, and they're talking about how they sing a little song. And we see this little janitor outside the door also singing a song, and he's really cute. Bernard is adorable. I love Bernard. And we see Bianca. She comes in late, and everyone's like got goo eyes for her. Well, they get the letter out of this bottle. Bernard starts talking about how there's like 13 steps on this ladder. Like Bernard is very superstitious this whole time. And they pull this out, and it says that this girl Penny needs help. And Bianca says, I want to help her. And so everyone's like, well, okay, you have to take someone with you. So she goes, okay, I'm going to take Bernard. Remind you, he's a janitor. He's not part of this Rescue Aid Society. And it's super cute. And he's like, okay. So they go to the orphanage that the letter is addressed to. Because it was addressed to the orphanage. Let's see. So they make their way there, and then they get to the orphanage, and they find Penny's things, and they meet a cat. And the cat tells them about the last time he saw Penny. And talking about how she was lonely and everything. And she wanted to be adopted and everything, so it was super cute. And then he's like, what's the last time you saw her? And he says, well, I saw her with this woman, but she wouldn't have gone with her. And So they go to Medusa's pawn shop, because that was the last person that the cat Rufus saw her with. They get to the pawn shop and they look around and they find information about Penny. So they jump in her suitcase so they can go with her to wherever she's going. Bianca almost gets left behind, and then the suitcase falls out of the car, so they get left behind anyway. But they know she's going somewhere. Devil's Bayou, that's what it's called. So then they go to get on a flight. And it's this pelican. And it's, dude, this whole thing. There's like a whole mouse world in this, which is what makes all this really fun. Is like there's a whole secret society of mice living amongst the humans, and it's really cute. I got cucumber water. Needed something tasty. So they hop on the bird, they fly to the Devil's Bayou. Takes them a long time to get there. They get all snuggled up on the flight. It's really cute. We see Penny dropping bottles again. She's running off trying to escape. They chase her down. They find her. We find some other mice. And they help Bianca and Bernard out. Penny's trying to run away, and they're not able to save her. She gets dragged back to Medusa's place. They get in a little boat so they can get over there. Okay. So Penny is arguing with Medusa and her husband. They ground her, send her up to her room. Let me see what else. They're talking about how they're going to send her back down the little hole because she wants to find this diamond, and I can't remember the name of the diamond. I watched this movie like 2 weeks ago because I watched it. I thought I was going to do this review last week, and I forgot it was Easter, and then I was like, oh wait, I've got Easter plans. So then they're trying to help Penny, but like the crocodiles chase them because Medusa has crocodiles. And they try to leave. Let's see. And Penny like prays before going to bed, and then they go talk to Penny. And like, how can we're gonna help you get out? She's like, well, did you bring the police? This part stuck with me. She's like, did you bring the police? And they're like, no, it's just the two of us. I'm like, y'all, come on. And yeah, she can understand the mice. It's not really explained on if this is normal or not, but she talks to the mice, and she talked to another animal earlier in the movie, and I don't remember who. Oh, she talked to the cat Rufus. So she talked to the cat, and she talks to the mice, and she seemingly understands them. And it's not really explained on if this is strange or not. Until the very end, there is like a little line, and someone kind of looks at her funny, like, wait, you talk to the mice? And she's like, yeah. She's like, on TV. It's really weird. It's really weird. They do not address this at all. But they make a plan to help her escape. But before they can get the help, she gets sent back down into the hole to find the diamond. Well, while they're down there, they find the diamond. They're able to find it. They get it out. Medusa tries to take it. Well, the other mice, they get help from the other mice and some other animals, and Medusa tries to leave with just... She doesn't even take her husband. She tries to leave with the diamond by herself. All the mice do all this stuff, and there's a crazy sort of like fight scene where they're doing all these things to like beat up the woman. Hey, Swole! And then they're able to get the diamond from her, and they escape. And then this does what a bunch of these old Disney movies do. So we talk about how these movies just end. That's kind of incorrect. What these movies do is they hit the climax, and then they time skip. And they're just like, and happily ever after happened. And you're like, wait, what? Like, you guys have all seen Cinderella. She tries to slip her on, and then it cuts, and then it's the wedding. Like, for example. Like, this movie, like, Penny and the mice escape, and then it hard cuts, and we're back at the Rescue Aid Society, and they're watching the news, and it's like, Penny found the diamond that everyone has been searching for, and blah, 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 and then great news, she got adopted. Here she is with her new mother and father. Yo, what? So, like, all these old Disney movies do that. They, like, hit the climax, and then they hard cut, and then it's like, and everyone lived happily ever after. And you're like, what? Excuse me? And yeah, so she's on the news, and she's like, hi, Bianca, hi, Bernard. And it's like, yeah. And then they find another letter of someone needing help, and Bianca's like, come on, Bernard, let's go. And then the end. They fly off, and they go help this other person, I guess. So yeah, fun movie. It was enjoyable. But yeah, like, it's just all these old... What movie were we talking about? We're talking about The Rescuers right now. But we just finished The Rescuers. So yeah, it's, you know. Now we're going to talk about the movie that makes me cry. We're going to talk about The Fox and the Hound. And if you don't cry at this movie, you're a heartless psychopath. Okay? Okay, there we go. Sorry, I had to start the thing over. The movie that makes you cry, that narrows it down to only a few thousand. Shut up. So, Fox and the Hound. So it starts in the woods, we hear some chasing, some howling. So people talk about the sadness of Bambi's mom getting shot in Bambi. People don't talk about this movie, okay? So we hear a dog barking, we see a fox mama carrying her little fox baby. This is all throughout the opening credits. And she's clearly being chased by this dog. She finds a little fence, she drops her little baby off, she hides him, an owl looks down and sees the baby, and then the mama runs off and you hear a gunshot. And mama's dead. Y'all, this movie opens up in the credits with Mama Fox dying, okay? Sad as hell. So then the owl goes down, sees the little baby fox, and is like, well, I gotta help it. Someone's gonna have to take care of you. Her name is Big Mama. So she's like, okay, you stay right here. I'm gonna go get some help. So her and these two other birds, whose names I'm trying to remember real quick. I don't remember the names. They go bother this woman. And so the woman has no name. This movie's sad. You're gonna cry whether you want to or not. Yes, this movie did say that. So this woman doesn't have a name. She's just called the Widower, I think. Or the widow, not the widower, the widow. And so she finds a little fox because they drop her laundry on the little fox. So she takes him and she's like, oh, she starts feeding him and she names him Todd. And then there's the neighbor, and he comes by and he tells his dog, he's like, hey, got something for you. And he drops off this little hound dog. And he's like, hey, Chief, which is his dog's name. He's like, you're going to train this little hound dog to be a hunting dog. And his name is Copper. Now we fast forward a little bit, not very much. Probably only like a few days. And the widow's trying to do her chores. She's milking her cow. And Todd is bothering her and everything. And chaos ensues. And she's like, Todd, you go play. So he goes on and he runs off and he plays. Oh, Dinky and Boomer. Those are the birds. I'm trying to remember their names. Their whole plot line is they're just trying to get a caterpillar. So he's like, hey dudes, what you doing? They're like, leave us alone. We're trying to get this fucking caterpillar. Come on. Sorry, it's freezing up on me. I'm trying to go through the movie. It's freezing up on me. So let's see. So then we see Chief and Copper kind of wanders off because he smells something. And he keeps going, he's like, I've never smelled this before. And he finds Todd, the fox. And so they play and play, and then this cute song plays. Then Copper gets in trouble for running off. Well, then they go and they play some more. And it's like, aw. And Copper again gets in trouble for running off, and he gets tied up. And he's like, you gotta run off, Todd. And Todd messes with Chief, and then Chief tries to chase him around. And he doesn't catch him. And the widow is like, leave Todd alone and everything. It's like, if he comes back on my land, I'm gonna shoot him. So she keeps Todd in the house. And Todd gets upset because he doesn't want to be in the house. Well, he sees the neighbor, I forget his name, it's like Amos, I think, taking Chief and Copper, and he's going off on a hunting trip. So Todd sneaks off to say bye. But Big Mama is like the owl. She's like, Copper is going to be trained to hunt you down, buddy. And he's like, oh no, he won't. We're going to be besties forever. And then it's winter time, and we see what everyone's doing. Dinky and Boomer are just trying to survive the cold, and then they fly off. We see Chief and Copper being hunting dogs. And then we cut back to spring. And Todd shows up. He's got a cute little collar. And then Dinky and Boomer almost get the caterpillar, and then the caterpillar gets on some electrical wires, and they try to get it, and then they get shocked, and it's real funny. Copper shows back up, and Todd sneaks over to talk to him, and he's like, you gotta go. And then Chief sees him, so they chase him down. And so he hides, and they chase him real far, and then Chief gets hit by a train. I want y'all to know he survives that somehow. And they're like, Copper is like, I'm gonna hunt him down. I'm gonna get him no matter what. And the widow finds Todd, and then Amos is like, you can't keep him forever, you can't keep him locked up. And so she's like, okay. And so she packs him up in the car the next day, and a sad song plays, and she drives him off to the game preserve, where like no hunting is allowed, and she drops him off there. And then poor guy, it rains, and he has the worst night of his life, and people are mean to him, and then a little like hedgehog gopher thing saves him, and is like, you can sleep in my house. And we see Chief, and he's nursing his hurt leg, and we see Copper, and Amos is showing Copper he's got these like bear traps. And Big Mama's flying around looking for Todd, and she finds this other fox named Vixie. And they go looking for Todd and everything, and she introduces the two of them, and then they become friends. And they get all nuzzled up. And they're just going through the woods, going through the forest. And then Amos breaks into the game preserve. Even though no hunting's allowed. And him and Copper hunt down Todd, and there's a whole thing. And then they run off, and then there's a bear, and they fight off the bear. Todd does what he can to like save Copper's life. And then Amos is about to shoot Todd, and Copper stands in front of him, and it's real sad. And they go home. And then the widow is nursing up his leg because his leg got stuck in the bear trap. And it zooms out, and there's Todd and Vixie, and that's the end. And you guys can talk about how Disney always has happy endings. This movie does not have a happy ending. You cannot tell me this movie has a happy ending. Because the worst part is right there, right at the end. Right there at the end. I was holding it in, y'all. I had only teared up a little bit during like the sad song when she's driving into the game preserve. I'd been holding it back. And then I was at the end of the movie. It's like, I haven't cried yet, y'all. And then Copper is like thinking about Todd. And then a voiceover plays, And it's their kid voices where he's like, we're gonna be friends forever, Copper. He's like, yeah, friends forever. And I just started crying. Because they're not. Because they go the separate ways and everything, and they never see each other again. And I was just like, I can't do this, y'all. This movie is so sad. This is not a happy ending. Sucks their friendship was strained over time. Yes. This is not a happy ending. Okay, and this movie's a 10 out of 10. Love this movie. Okay, I don't know if it's 10 out of 10 yet. I gotta actually decide. But man. Okay, on to the Black Cauldron. Okay, so for starters, this is the first movie to have this logo. Like, they were splitting their friendship was strained, they got reunited this way. It's good storytelling, honestly, I know. This was the first movie to have this logo. And this is the first one to not have opening credits. These credits are at the end of this movie. They're not at the beginning. So, just for you guys keeping track at home. So, Black Cauldron. Those are some things about it. I also need you guys to know this movie almost killed Disney. Okay, and I can kind of tell why. Also, I can't remember a single goddamn name from this movie. Don't ask me any characters' names from this movie. I know the princess's name, I don't know how you fucking pronounce it. Also, she may or may not be a princess, and we'll get to that. Okay, because a character says something in the movie that really confused me. Anyway, I know the girl's name, but I don't know how to pronounce it. So, we're introduced. I'm just gonna let this play. So there was a king that was really evil. My friend's terrified of the Army of the Damned scene when he was a kid. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So there's this old king. Since no prison can hold him, he was thrown alive into a crucible of molten iron. His demonic spirit was captured in the form of the Great Black Cauldron. That's what you need to know. And the Black Cauldron is hidden. I'm trying to remember this whole... Lightning while evil men search for it. Knowing whoever possessed it would have the army to resurrect an army of deathless warriors. So, and with them they could rule the world. So they want to find the Black Cauldron so they could, like, rule the world. That's what you need to know. We go to a field, and there's this old man, and he's trying to figure something out. And there's this little kid, and this kid is like, I want to go fight in the war. I want to be a warrior. And then he goes and feeds the pig. What is the pig's name? Henwig or something, I think? I don't know. The pig's name is like Henwin, I think. That's the only character's name I remember. And yeah, so he's play fighting and everything, and then him and the pig get covered in mud. And then I watched this movie again as an adult, and I thought he was annoying as fuck. I do not like this kid, okay? But, like, he's so predictable, okay? He's not even really annoying. He's just a predictable character. He wants to be a hero, and you know he's going to get to be a hero. And in the end, he's going to be like, well, I wasn't really a hero. I'm like, dude, your actions, they saved the... I mean, whatever. We're not even going to get started on the gremlin thing. Fuck the gremlin thing. He's generic as fuck. Yeah. He's a very generic Disney character. Anyway, so then he's like, okay, bathe the pig. And the pig starts freaking out. Taran, that's his name. Henwin, yeah, that is her name. Okay. So then he uses the pig to, like, see the future. And the Horned King wants to find the Black Cauldron. And then he's like, take the pig and go hide. So they go through the woods. Oh, no, we see the Horned King, and he's like... He's literally just a skeleton. And he's, like, rubbing his, like, skeleton buddies, and he's like, I'm going to make you all alive. It's really weird. And then, yeah, they go into the woods, and he starts pretending to be a warrior again, and he loses the pig. The one thing the dude told him not to do. The old man. Oh, Gurgi. That's this gremlin's name. Okay, fuck this thing. This little guy is annoying. This little fuzzy guy, he's annoying. And so he meets this whole thing, and this whole thing is like, give me food, I saw the pig. I saw the pig. And he's like, show me where the pig is. And he just wants the food. And then we find the pig, and she falls off a cliff, and then she gets kidnapped by some birds, and they take her to the castle of the Horn King. So he's like, I'm gonna go find the Horn King. You're like, the Horn King, he has a badass design. The Horn King has a badass design. Don't get me wrong. He's like super fucking cool looking Skeletor. Like, Horn King is awesome. But yeah, so he goes in the Horn King's like mansion to go find the pig. Gurgi makes me not like schnauzers. Let's see. Horn King shows up and he's like, okay, you found the pig? Show me how to make the pigs, show me where the Black Cauldron is. The pig is like, I'm gonna do it. And then the kid is like, Taryn or whatever his name is like, don't hurt her. And he's like, okay, well, I'll show you, don't kill us. So he makes the pig and Wynn like show him where the Black Cauldron is. And then they try to escape, and they run. He throws the pig off into the moat, and then he gets caught, gets thrown in the dungeons, and then he meets Elwynnie? I don't know how to pronounce her fucking name. But she says she's a princess, and she's got this little glowing orb. Elwynnie. I don't know how to pronounce her fucking name. I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention throughout the whole goddamn movie. Yeah, they start trying to escape. And then he finds a cool sword. And then he uses the sword and they escape. Because the sword is really cool. And they save this little musical guy. This little, like, like, minstrel. But yeah, the sword, like, breaks other weapons. It's really cool. So they escape. Let's see. And they have a big fight because he's like, I don't remember. He's like, you're just a girl. And she's like, I'm a princess or whatever. Anyway, they find Gurgi again. And Gurgi is like, I know where the pig is. And then they fall into this pixie land. And there are these little pixies. Pixies are really weird. They're like, we're trying to find the pig in the Black Cauldron. They're like, we'll help you. So they fly them off to where the Black Cauldron is. And then they meet these witches. And these witches are like, oh, you want the Black Cauldron? We'll only do a trade. He's like, okay, I'll give you the sword if you give us the Black Cauldron. And they're like, hey, you want to stop the Black Cauldron? The only way you can stop the Black Cauldron is if you throw yourself in it, and you won't come out. And they're like, oh shit, what do we do? Well, they get caught. The Horn King steals the Black Cauldron. Oh, hold on, there was a really cool shot of the Horn King. Here he is. Look at this. Look at this man. Man is fucking awesome looking. Anyway, so he throws a skeleton in there, and the skeletons come to life. And they walk out. Gurgi shows up, and he saves them, and he's like, I'll sacrifice myself. And you're just like... And he's been a coward this whole movie, so the whole point is it's supposed to be character growth, and like, look, he's not a coward, he sacrificed himself. But I'm just like, oh my god, I wanted to cheer when he jumped in, because Gurgi was so annoying the whole movie. I was like, yes! But like, you know he's not going to stay dead, because this is a Disney movie. So it's just like, okay, well, whatever. It would have been more, like, I don't know. It would have been better had, like, the princess or the main character thrown themselves in. Or even the minstrel. But like Gurgi threw himself in, I'm like, okay, cool, kill him. So then the Army of the Dead dies. And the Horn King gets sucked in as well. Then our human characters escape. And they talk to the witches again, and they're like, they want to make a deal with them, and they're like, we'll give you the Black Cauldron back. They're like, oh, we want the Black Cauldron back. And they're like, okay, well, we only do a trade. And they were like, well, we'll give you the sword back. And he's like, I'm not a hero. I don't want the sword. I want Gurgi back. And they're like, well, we can't do that. And he's like, the other guy's like, well, it seems like you guys aren't all that fucking powerful. And you're like, oh yeah, bet. Okay, we can bring Gurgi back. And they bring Gurgi back. And then they all live happily ever after, and him and the princess kiss, and it's the end. And then the credits play at the end. So the reason I question if she's a princess is because the it's never addressed. So she says she's a princess throughout the whole movie. They refer to her as a princess. But then at the end, when they're all tied up, he's like, oh, you guys are gonna, the Horn King is like, you guys are gonna stop me? A pig keeper, a scullery maid, or a minstrel? And I'm like, wait, so is she a princess or a scullery maid? And it's never addressed. So I don't know if he was just like trying to be mean to them, be like, haha, you're not what you really say you, like, you're not what you think you can be, or like what, but it's really weird. Anyway, this movie almost killed Disney. And it wasn't, I did not really enjoy it. I'll be honest, it was kind of like I stayed awake, and like I liked parts of it, but overall I was just like, I didn't really, she thinks she's a princess. Oh, yeah, I don't know, like I have no idea. I'm really confused on it. It's just like, she thinks she's a princess, or she wants to be a princess, or she works for a princess, but I don't know. I think maybe making fun of their positions in life, she may not have known she was a princess. Maybe? But she says she was kidnapped specifically because of, like, the little orb she had, so I would assume if she was a princess, she would have been kidnapped from the castle. So I don't know. It was really weird. It was weird. But yeah, I liked parts of it, but overall I just didn't really like most of the characters. Like, I liked her, and I liked the minstrel, but I didn't like our main character, and I didn't like Gurgi. The pig was fine. The pig was fine. These princesses have horrible security. So, let's talk about it. Let's rank them. Okay. Stop making all these pop-ups. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, The Rescuers. Rescuers was good. I had fun. Where would I rank it? Pig was adorable for sure. The Horn King was probably the best part of the movie. I would probably agree with you. Pig was really cute. Penguin. Fox and the Hound should be at least A at the worst. We're not at Fox and the Hound yet. We're at The Rescuers. I'm also a villains kind of guy. That's fair. He's a really cool design. I wouldn't say I'm like a villains kind of person, but he was fun. Okay. I mean, Rescuers was fine. It was fun. It wasn't bad. But I don't know where I would put it. Like, would I watch it again? Probably. But is it something I'm going to, like, go out of my way to watch? I don't know. But if someone was like, hey, you want to watch The Rescuers? I'd be like, yeah, okay. But I'm not going to be like, ooh, I'm in the mood to watch The Rescuers. I don't know. Probably a B tier somewhere. Put it here. What is this? Yeah, probably a 7 out of 10. B tier. Okay, Fox and the Hound, Fox and the Hound, Fox and the Hound. It's gonna be up here with A tier. I don't know. It might be one of my favorites. I don't know. It's definitely a little bit slower than I remembered as a kid. Like, there's a lot of, like, dead air. And, but I don't know, it's really good. It's so good, it makes me cry. I think I'm gonna put it... Is it above or below Winnie the Pooh? It's like right here. It's like right here, okay? It's either above or below Winnie the Pooh. Put it right here. Oops. Oops. Not capital that. We gotta find them all on here. Yeah, we'll find them in a minute. The Fox and the Hound, I'm gonna put it at 9 out of 10 A tier. Oops. Do not want that bold. 9 out of 10 A tier. And the Black Cauldron, it's like down here somewhere. Yeah, it's gonna go, I mean, it was solid, but it wasn't, it's a solid, like, C tier. Yeah, it's, like, on the cusp, so. Yeah, it's gonna be a 6 out of 10. It's gonna be C. There. Okay. I hope if I put a D in that word. Okay. So let's find these. Okay. The Rescuers. Where do we put the Rescuers? Right here. We put the Rescuers after Robin Hood. Okay, and then we put Fox and the Hound right after Pooh Bear. Oops. And then we put Black Cauldron at the end of C tier. I wanted to like Black Cauldron, but it was just kind of rough, man. It was rough. Okay. That's where we're at, and we went through this pretty quickly. I talked too fast. Let's talk about, like, what I thought about each movie a little bit more. So, Rescuers was... It was interesting. It's something I want to see more of, and I hope The Rescuers Down Under is good. Because I really liked this sort of, like, secret world the mice had. Like, the mice had their own little, like, world. Like, kind of next to... The Black Cauldron doesn't like the Black Cauldron. Kind of, like, next to the human world. Like, I don't know, it was something that was interesting. Like, there's world building to this. Like, the mice have, like, their own modes of transportation. They have their own societies and stuff. And so, something that I hope The Rescuers Down Under, like, kind of builds on a little bit. And I hope it's good. But I'm not holding my breath because, excuse me, sequels are kind of rough in the Disney world. But yeah, so I liked Rescuers. I liked that sort of secret world and that, like, the mice were living kind of next to, and I want them to expand on that, but I don't think I'll get what I want. Fox and the Hound, like I said, this was like, so it was a little bit, like I said, I don't know. I remember as a kid them having more time to, like, spend together, but maybe that's the sequel I'm thinking of, because I know the sequel is like an interquel, actually. Like, Fox and the Hound 2 is like, oh, this takes place during, like, the events of the movie kind of thing. But I could be wrong. I don't remember. But yeah, I remember them having more time to spend together, so when they had, like, 2 scenes of them, like, playing as kids, I was like, what? But yeah, I don't know. It's a really good movie. It makes me cry. It's very fun. Let's see. Black Cauldron. Yeah, there's just a lot I would improve on. Like, mostly it's the main character. I just don't really like him. And Gurgi. Fuck Gurgi. Gurgi can go die. He did die. And then they brought him back. Ugh. But it's, like, overall it's a fun plot. Like, I like the plot. Like, it's a good story. I just don't really, I didn't connect to the characters. You know? I think it's a fun story. I think it has a good, like, it flows really well. It had, like, it doesn't do what some of these other movies, like I said, where they, like, hit the climax and then it's, like, a skip. Because even Fox and the Hound did that. Like, they hit the climax, he stops in front of, you know, Copper protects Todd, and then he's like, okay, let's go home. And then it kind of skips, and then it's like Amos getting cared for by the widow and everything. Some are worse than others, but yeah. This actually had a good plot. Like, the climax hits, and then it keeps going actually through the falling action. Because that's the thing. Okay, I need to remind you guys of this. Okay, the plot structure diagram. Let me make this bigger. Okay. Hold on. Open image in new tab so I can make this bigger. So we have our exposition. That's the baseline of a story. Okay, so like Black Cauldron, for example. Hold on, the exposition, right here. So we talk about the plot. We set up the plot. We go, okay, so in this world there's a Black Cauldron, everyone wants it. And then we go, okay, rising action right here. It's the events leading up to everything. So it's them traveling and everything, him losing Hedwig getting thing. Okay, climax up here. The Black Cauldron. The villain has created his army of the dead. Gurgi jumps into the Black Cauldron. Okay, boom. You don't stop there. All these movies stop there. But they keep going. Okay. Now the falling action, they're escaping and everything. They're coming down. They're going through. Okay. They say Gurgi comes back. Okay, that's the resolution. They live happily ever after the end. Okay. What a bunch of these movies do, like The Rescuers, we get to the climax. Okay, they're escaping. They're running away. They're getting away with Penny. Boom, resolution. Like, where's the falling action? The falling action is where you start to bring the story back down and you show how you, like, so many of these older Disney movies skip the falling action. Let's go through and talk about which ones do that. Okay. So, Pinocchio is just like 3 episodes of a movie. Dumbo flies. The end. There's no falling action. Bambi has no plot. Let's skip all the wartime era because that doesn't really count. Cinderella. I'd say the climax of the movie. Yeah, so she loses her slipper. They try the slipper on her. There's not really a falling action. The resolution just happens. They get married. Or we see the wedding. Let's see. Peter Pan. Peter Pan has a good plot structure. Lady and the Tramp. Okay, yeah. Climax of the movie. We're at the climax of the movie. Tramp has been taken by, like, he was taken by the dog pound. And the other 2 dogs are chasing down the cart he's in. And Lady and her owners are in their car driving after him. And then they get hit by the dog gets hit by the cart. And there's no falling action. It goes to the resolution. It skips and they're like, oh, it's Christmas. Look, they have puppies. Sleeping Beauty had a falling action. 101 Dalmatians had a falling action. Sword in the Stone doesn't have a plot. Jungle Book had a falling action. Aristocats. It was fine. Robin Hood. We talked about Robin Hood, okay? Climax of the movie. He's escaping the prison. Like, they've set everyone free. He's getting attacked. He's on his way out of the castle. They're burning down the castle. They're trying to chase him. He escapes. And they're like, you can't kill Robin Hood. Long live King Richard. Resolution. They're getting married and King Richard is back. Like, there's no falling action. Okay? I think what saves the Fox and the Hound in the story is that it tugs at the heartstrings. A basis of friendship that gets ruined and to be apart for a long time, but still care about friendship. I would love to see them play together one more time before it's been up for good. Maybe that adds to the sadness. No, I totally agree with you. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. It was just one of those things that, like, as a kid, I remember it being longer. That's really all it is. It's just as a kid, you know, you don't think about it, but like when you go back and you think about this movie, you're like, oh yeah, they played together like the whole movie, and then at the end they get split up. When it's like, no, they played together for like 2 scenes, and then they get split up, and there's a lot more scenes in between than I remembered. There's a lot of stuff I didn't remember that happened there. But yeah, I just want to show this chart to someone, to like the old Disney writers, and just be like, this, please. This is how we write stories. But maybe I'm just being harsh. I just feel like a lot of these movies just like cut. They just like hard cut. Like as a kid, I like the main character. As an adult, I find him annoying. Oh yeah, you're talking about Black Cauldron. I think it would make a cool Kingdom Hearts world, honestly. Yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, as a kid, 2 30-second scenes are 2 hours in our time. Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I think it does pull better at the heartstrings, the way that the plot is structured. But yeah, it's one of those things that like kind of threw me for a loop when I rewatched it recently. I was like, man, that was longer. Yeah, though, like I said, Black Cauldron has a really good plot. I love the plot. I just don't really like the characters. It's a really fun, interesting world, and I would love to see it done. Like, if we're gonna remake, like, this would be a fun one to remake in live action. Like, that's the thing. They're talking about, like, remaking all these movies into live action. Remake the ones that didn't do as well. Remake the weird ones. Remake Black Cauldron. Remake Atlantis. Remake fucking Treasure Planet. God. Those would be fun. Remake those. Bring those into Kingdom Hearts. The Treasure Planet world in Kingdom Hearts. Oh, that'd be so good. Anyway, I think Black Cauldron has, like, yeah, it's a fine story. I just didn't really care about the characters. I just did not care. Almost done making the small noodle. Eee! Noodle! Okay, oops, this is for Kingdom Hearts. This is what we're looking at. So yeah, I feel like some of these movies just miss the basic plot structure. Like, anyway. Every time y'all make a good movie, it ends up being shit. Y'all leave Atlantis and Treasure Planet alone, damn it. No! Look, what I'm saying is I think it would be better to remake those than some of the, like, because I think they could do better making, if they cared. They actually tried. I think, like, Treasure Planet could be a really cool live-action remake if they did it right. But it'll never get a sequel, it'll never get a remake, because that movie cost way too much money. It was so good. And Disney was like, you're never fucking making a movie like that again. That costs us too much money. Let me look at the budget for that movie. Treasure Planet. No, the movie. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Yeah, the budget on that movie was 140 mil. It only made 110 mil. So they were like, yeah, you're not making that movie again. Keyword, if they cared and did it right. I mean, that's, yes. My point, though, is that, like, I think they could remake those movies better than they remake some of these other movies, because what they're trying to do, here's what they're trying to do. They're remaking these old movies and trying to make, like, girl power. Like, for example, let's talk for example. In Aladdin, they take Aladdin and they're trying to remake it, and they're like, well, we need to make Jasmine more girl power. And so they add these extra scenes in this song that doesn't exist to make Jasmine seem more girl power when she doesn't need to be. Or they did the same thing in, like, Lion King. They, like, had, like, a girl power Nala scene. Like, there's a girl power scene, apparently. I've never seen the live action Lion King, but Zeffy has, and he was telling me. There's, like, a scene where, like, all the girl lions, like, team up and, like, do a girl power shot, where then they go fight the hyenas. You know what movie already has girl power? Treasure Planet. Atlantis. I'd agree with you, it'd be a dope live action. Atlantis live action, oh my god, take my money. That's what I'm saying. Like, and they're trying to do, like, oh, more diverse cast in these. You know what has a diverse cast? Treasure Planet. Atlantis. Atlantis has such a diverse cast. There's not changes they have to make, because what they do is they make these changes that then make no sense. Did y'all see, let's talk about live action Beauty and the Beast. Why the fuck is all those characters, half those characters when they turn back into humans, and it's just really weird. I think it was, wasn't it like Lumiere and his girlfriend were like an interracial couple, which is like not a problem in our standards, but like in the time period that this movie takes place, it wouldn't make sense for there to be like an interracial couple that is okay. Like in the time period that that movie takes place. In like medieval France. And it was really weird. And like they try to like racially diverse like the whole cast, but it makes no sense. Yeah, I hate this fake woke virtue signaling pandering bullshit they do. That's what I'm saying. But like you make Atlantis, for example. You've got the badass girl mechanic character who's Hispanic. You've got the black doctor. You've got the weird mole character. You've got like all these characters are already fun and diverse and interesting. I feel like they could do better making one of those rather than trying to take a movie and make it something it's not. If you know what I'm saying. But whatever. I get off my soapbox. But I think, my point is though, I think Black Cauldron would also be a really good candidate for like a remake. I think they could do a really cool remake if they like did like a live action remake of Black Cauldron. I think it would be really fun. I think it would be really cool. That's what that movie needs, is like a remake. Make me care about the characters. What else would actually make like a good like live action remake? Not the ones we've gotten. I mean, Cinderella, I have a question. So this all started with the live action Cinderella movie that no one has seen because it came out like years before they started doing this. So they made that live action Cinderella with Lily James, I think is her name. And it's so weird because it's like, why make a live action Cinderella? Because A, there's so many. There's so many. Disney gains nothing by putting another one out there. No one's going to watch it. No one watches any of these Cinderella remakes. There's so many. There's so many retellings of Cinderella. And they're still coming out with them, and they're doing different things. Like, there's this one with, what's her name? What is it? Which one? 2021. Yeah, it's this one. It's one that came out last year. Camila Cabello. Because it has Billy Porter as the fairy godmother. Instead of, like, a woman, it's, like, a gay man, and he's, like, in drag and everything. And they're just trying to do all these things, and nobody's going to see this. Look, it has 2 out of 5 stars. You know, it's a 4.3 out of 10. Nobody saw this movie. There's so many. How many live-action Cinderella movies are there? Let's see. There's a 2015 one, which is not on Disney Plus, as far as I'm aware. No. They have this live-action Cinderella, which I've heard is amazing. It has a black Cinderella. A black Cinderella and an Asian Prince Charming. I've heard it's great. Yeah. They don't have their own live-action Cinderella movie on Disney Plus. Let's see, every live-action Cinderella ranked. Okay, we've got Into the Woods. That's live-action Cinderella story, yeah. Cinderella 1960, I don't know that one. 2021. Ella Enchanted. Love that movie. Y'all should go watch it. Not seen The Glass Slipper. Not seen this one. A Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff. Y'all, that's my movie. Never seen this one. Never seen this one. Ever After. Y'all, Ever After is the best telling of Cinderella. Y'all have to go watch it. Not seen this one. Why is this one at the top? This is bad. Y'all also forgot the other 2 Disney live-action Cinderella stories. Another Cinderella Story. Because this is Cinderella Story, and then there's another Cinderella Story. Yeah, there's a Cinderella Story, a Cinderella Story 2, a Cinderella Story Once Upon a Song. There's like a whole bunch of these. because this one is another Cinderella story. It's got Selena Gomez. Cinderella remakes, I feel, are equivalent of Titanic movies. No matter how many ways you film it, the ending is the same. The difference, at least Cinderella will draw money from the name. Titanic won't draw money from the name, but the actor and actress in it. Cinderella remakes also draw money from the actors. Yeah, that's the big thing. It's like, which actor do you want to see be Cinderella? Like, do you want to see Selena Gomez? Do you want to see Hilary Duff? Do you want to see Anne Hathaway? Who do you want to see be Cinderella? Yeah, like, what other movies instead would be, like, cool live action? Peter Pan, we've seen not done well. Hook! Now, Hook, on the other hand. Hook is the good, like, Peter Pan sequel, live action, remake, whatever you want to call it. Y'all, if y'all have not seen Hook with, what is his name? Why is his name escaping me? Robin Williams. Thank you. Hook with Robin Williams. So good. So good. Why did they make a live action Lady and the Tramp? Tell me why. Let's go through all the ones. Let's talk about which ones have live action. So they're making a Snow White live action film right now. Pinocchio, I think they're making a live action Pinocchio as well. Fantasia doesn't work as live action. Dumbo, why make a live action movie? Especially because the live action film is all about these humans that weren't characters in the original. Bambi, don't make a live action. Don't remake that. Wartime era, half of these have live action sequences. Cinderella, too many exist. Alice in Wonderland, why'd you do that? Why'd you make a live action Alice in Wonderland? Why'd you do it? Peter Pan, don't do it. Just don't. Lady and the Tramp, why'd you do it? Sleeping Beauty, I mean, it's like Batman. Who's your Batman? Bale? Clooney? I hope not. Same thing with Cinderella. Exactly. I'm hoping Robert Pattinson's gonna be my Batman. I haven't really watched a lot of Batman, to be honest. I need to, like, get into the DC movies. I did see Dark Knight. I think it's the only Batman movie I've seen. No, my Batman, Lego Batman. Lego Batman's my Batman. If y'all have not seen the Lego Batman movie, go watch it. Sleeping Beauty, I mean, if you're gonna make a live action, well, they did. They made Maleficent, but I don't really count that because that's not the same. I heard Pattinson was a good Batman. I'm hoping so. I haven't seen it yet. Sleeping Beauty, okay. I think it could be a good live action movie. I just don't like the direction they took the movie. Does that make sense? Because they made a live action, and I don't like Maleficent, but I think it could be a fine live action film. They just tried to they did a different kind of story. They did like a villain, heartfelt story, and I don't like that. And it's not because I don't like villains, because I know Igloo over here is a villain's character, a villain's dude. I like villains, but I like them as villains. And I feel like Maleficent takes away the fun part. Like, the whole point is that she's a fun villain. I don't need to feel sad for her to like her as a villain. I like her less as a villain now, if that makes sense. You guys know what I mean? Does that make sense? Don't make her... Like, I like her because she's just evil. She's just mean. She has every right to be mad. She's just pissed. She has every right to be mad. And I think she makes a good villain. I don't need you to make me sympathize with her and make me feel bad because of something that happened. Villains should be villains except for Doofenshmirtz. Doofenshmirtz is perfect. I love him. But yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like, villains should just be left alone. So I think Sleeping Beauty could actually make a good live action if they just told the story of Sleeping Beauty. Let's see. 101 Dalmatians. I mean, the live action film was fun. I don't know if it was good. It was years ago. It's been years since I've seen it, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Sword in the Stone. I feel like Sword in the Stone is one of those movies that could also benefit from some sort of remake, retelling, something. Jungle Book, they did it. I don't know if it was good. I didn't watch it. I don't think it was good. Don't do it. Did you see the meme which explains why Doof is the greatest ad ever? Probably. But send it to me in Discord anyway. Aristocats, don't do it. Don't make me a live action cat movie. Robin Hood, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't make me a live action furry movie. I like a good villain with a good backstory, but I also like a villain who's evil because they want to be evil. I want to destroy the city because fuck these people and because I want to. Exactly. Like, there's a place for sympathetic villains. But don't take a good villain and try to make them sympathetic. You know what I mean? Like, if a villain is evil because they're evil, don't then try to rewrite it and be like, oh, well, actually they're evil because somebody was mean to them. Like, no. They're fun because they're that way. make a sympathetic villain from the beginning. You know? Winnie the Pooh, they did a live action. They did like a Hook sort of story with Christopher Robin. How many of you guys have actually seen Hook? I'm talking about Hook, and I don't know if you guys have seen it. The premise is that Peter Pan goes home, like goes back to the normal world to grow up, and he's all grown up, and Tinkerbell comes and finds him, and she's like, you have to come back to Neverland, and all this stuff. And then there's like the plot unfolds. But he's all grown up and doesn't believe anymore. Winnie the Pooh kind of the same thing with Christopher Robin. I don't know if you guys saw that, the live-action Christopher Robin film with Ewan McGregor. He's all grown up now, and he doesn't really believe in the Pooh Bear anymore. And Pooh and Tigger and everyone comes and is like, hey, look, let's, you gotta come save the 100-acre woods. He's like, what are you talking about? That shit wasn't real. That was my imagination. I'm like, no, come on. So, I liked that. Okay, here we go. What are we talking about? That's what wrong with Itachi. He started as evil, and years later they made him a hero. Like, no, he killed men, women, and children. Exactly. So I like Generation 1 Megatron so much. He's basically just like, I want to make my own planet into a cosmic dreadnought, because why the fuck not? You guys talk about shit I know nothing about, but good for you. No, I kind of know Naruto. I know what you're talking about, but I can't comment on those characters. But hell yeah. That's why, like, here's the way you make a sympathetic villain. Like, this is gonna sound really weird. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? But bear with me. Y'all ever read the Boo Saga of Dragon Ball Z? That's how you make, like, a good villain. Because Boo is just fucking crazy. Okay? He's just, like, doing shit because he wants to, because he just likes to be evil. And then he finds a dog. And he's like, shit. This dog is fucking awesome. And someone hurts his dog, and he's like, yo, you did not fuck with my dog. And gets mad. And then you see he has this softer side. Like, that's a great way of being like, look, here's a crazy villain, but look, he can have a softer side. Without being like, years later, oh look, Boo was actually good all along. But people don't like the Boo Saga. Nobody likes the Boo Saga, but I love me the Boo Saga. Boo Saga is great, okay? Y'all know, y'all fuck with me? Boo Saga is great. Okay. Back to Disney. Rescuers doesn't need to be live action. Fox and the Hound doesn't need to be live action. Black Cauldron could be good. Have not seen Great Mouse Detective. Haven't seen Oliver and Company. Don't make me look at Little Mermaid. I don't know. Depends on how well they do the like animated parts. Boo Saga just went on for too long was my problem. I liked the Boo Saga. I think it was perfect. Boo Saga was perfect. Like Boo Saga was just too long. What the fuck? Okay, did y'all watch the anime? Because I read the manga. That might be the difference. I read the manga. So, that could be the difference. Yes, the anime. Okay, I can't comment on the anime. I'm a manga girl. I read the manga. I read the manga of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I did not watch it. So when I started Dragon Ball, I started the first arc in the anime, and then I was like, this is really long. And I asked Zeffy, I was like, should I just read it? He's like, yeah, we own it. Just go read it. And I was like, okay. So I skipped the first saga in the manga, and I just read the rest. The only thing the anime added was the fight between Vegito and Boo. Yeah, but still, they stretched out a lot of stuff. Like, as far as I can tell, stuff that was only, like, a couple panels in the manga became, like, 10 minutes in the anime. I know, like, random little things like that, because they were talking about it earlier, Zeffy and my friend, that I liked, I mean. Oh, I see what you mean. I'm just saying, like, I can definitely see how they could have made it a lot longer in the anime than in the manga. Because they were talking about, I'm trying to remember which scene it was. Was it in the Boo Saga? I think it was in the Boo Saga. I think it was a Boo Saga. No, maybe it wasn't. I'm trying to remember. There was something we were talking about, and they're like, yeah, this was like 3 panels in the manga, and it's like 10 minutes in the anime. Boo Saga is when I felt like they're leaning in the direction of Let's Sell Toys. There's an entire episode of Goku just powering up to become Super Saiyan 3, like, what the fuck? I think that's what it was, yeah, when he was powering up to become Super Saiyan 3, and then he, like, pieces out, because he can't go, like, Super Saiyan 3, because he's alive, and it will murder you. That's like 3 panels in the manga when he goes Super Saiyan 3 and he's like, fuck, I can't do this, and he pieces out. Yeah, that's like nothing in the manga. Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid would make an okay live action, I think. It just depends on how they do the underwater scenes, how well they do those scenes, and so I feel like that's like treading like really tough waters. So that's like a maybe. Haven't seen Rescuers Down Under. Beauty and the Beast, we got a live action one, it wasn't good. Aladdin, we got a live action one, it wasn't good. Lion King, why? Why did you make a live action Lion King? Y'all know, it's not even live action, I don't know what everyone calls it that. It's just a remake. It's just a 3D remake. It's a CG remake. There's one shot, they were like, you guys couldn't even tell. Because literally, all of it, like, even the scenes, you know when there's, like, scenes of, like, just the savannah? All of that is CG. Because they bragged about it. They were like, yeah, in one of those scenes, there's a shot where I took a picture when I was in Africa. I took this picture of the savannah, and we just slipped it in there as one of the shots during, like, the opening sequence, and y'all couldn't even tell. Like, why? You're telling me you literally didn't film any of this on the African savannah? You literally just made all of the CGI? How can you call it a fucking live-action remake? Anyway, off my soapbox. Pocahontas, it would make a fine live action, but just don't. Don't touch Pocahontas. Pocahontas needs to die. Just let it sink. Hunchback. I would like a Hunchback live action. I think that would be fun. I think that's another movie that could benefit from like a live action remake. Hercules, maybe. I just feel like they wouldn't get a good enough actor to be Hercules because he has to be nice and sexy and buff and everything. I don't think. Oh goodness, y'all are dropping some shit on me. Busaga was totally fun. The card theme. I used to play that back in the day when Supreme Weskai was hella busted. Interesting. SSJ3, Gogeta, Go Tanks, SSJ, Imagine, Vegeta, Teen Gohan, Great Saiyaman, all toys ready to sell. I think it's right we got these new techniques via Fusion, Kamikaze Ghost, but it's still more toy promotion in my opinion. I don't think so, because I feel like Toriyama was like, we joke about this all the time, me and Zeffy, but I think Toriyama got sort of pushed to go bigger and better, because we just had like the Frieza saga and the Cell saga, and these were really great, and then it's like, hey, let's go do a tournament, and then we've got this genie we're gonna fight. And I feel like he was pressured to be like, why are you following up the Cell saga and the Frieza saga with like this random bullshit? Like this is such a downgrade. So I feel like he was kind of pressured to like add these bigger and better things because, oh, this isn't good enough. Like, hey, I feel like his editors were probably jumping in and being like, Toriyama, what the fuck are you doing? What is this? We're fighting a wizard. We're fighting a genie who turns things into chocolate. What is this? And he was being like told to like make it bigger, make it better, make it bigger, make it better. And I feel like that's kind of what happened more than, hey, let's sell toys. The anime, they probably pushed those a lot more to be like, hey, look, you want an action figure? Yeah. Whereas like in the manga way, it was more just like, hey, Toriyama, what the fuck are you following up Cell Saga with this for? Like, we just had like all these really great villains, and now we've got a wizard and a genie. What? And so Toriyama was probably sort of pressured to like make things feel bigger and better. But I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Okay. Back to this live action conversation. Well, it's so weird because I have the screen on this side, but my monitor is over here, so I'll gesture over here, but I could probably switch the sides, but I've been doing it like this for so long. Speaking of Vegeta, he's fighting Thor in the next death battle. Ooh, interesting. Fair enough. Toriyama is renowned for not really thinking long-term with his sagas. His toy promotion wasn't as bad. Obviously, Super and the goddamn Zamasu saga. Hate it. Okay, yeah, I'm not watching Super. I watched like 2 episodes of Super and I can't do it. I don't like what they've done with Goku's character and everything. Because we're going to watch it because the manga and the anime are actually different. Y'all. Okay. Talk about Dragon Ball for just 5 more minutes, guys, and then I'm gonna get back to what I was doing. So, basically, what Toriyama did, Toriyama no longer writes Dragon Ball. So he wrote an outline for Super. He's like, here's the outline of the story. And then he gave it to Toritaro, who writes the manga, and Toei Animation, who makes the anime. And he said, here's my outline. You guys fill in the blanks. So they're running concurrently, but they're written by different writers on the same outline, so the same major events are happening, but all the little stuff is different. So they're actually different stories, even though they're both Dragon Ball Super and they're based on the same outline. So we were going to watch what's out of the anime and then go read it, but I can't watch it. I can't. I don't know if the manga's any better, but I can't handle what they've done with Goku's personality and Vegeta's personality. Like, I can't do it. I don't like Goku anymore. Goku's my favorite character. Watch all Super, and the only part I like is Tournament Power. That's what I've heard. Tournament Power is good. But I still saw it as a mid, so yeah, you don't need to watch it. As long as they keep GT out of canon, that's all I care about. I heard GT is better than Super. I've heard GT is better. And what I watched of GT, I liked. So, Zephy watched all of GT, and I caught some parts of it. What I saw of GT, I liked. But I've heard that, like, it depends on if you like original Dragon Ball or not, because, like, the first arc is basically just original Dragon Ball, and I really like original Dragon Ball, so. Anyway. No way, GT is hot garbage. I don't know. What I saw of it I liked, but I like Kid Goku, and I like original Dragon Ball. And I like the idea of Trunks and Goten being grown up. GT had one good saga out of 4. I've heard the Baby Saga is really good. I've heard the first saga is okay. It depends on if you like original Dragon Ball. Super Saiyan 4 should have been the final form of Saiyan, or at least with Legendary Saiyan form should look like Fight Me. I agree. Okay, and we're going to pause Dragon Ball talk, and we're going to get back to this. So Hunchback. I feel like Hunchback could make a good live-action story. Hercules, I feel like could be a fun story, but I don't feel like there's a good enough actor out there to look good as Hercules. Because they would just get, like, Chris Evans, and I don't feel like Chris Evans would be a good Hercules. Like, we need a good himbo. We need us a good himbo, and I don't know who could be a good himbo. Mulan could be a good live action, but they fucked it up. I like Dragon Ball. Lost episodes were okay. Baby Saga was anticlimactic. Super 17 was rushed. See, everyone that's what I heard. I heard Super 17 was good, but too short or something. I love the Shadow Dragon Saga. I've heard that's good. I've heard most of it was good, but I mean, we probably just have different tastes in anime. Zephy said I would like it, and he knows what I like in anime, so I'm gonna trust him. But I'm very picky about anime, and I like some weird shit. But yeah, Mulan would make a good live action, but they fucked it up because they just made it a stupid story. Tarzan. Don't do it. I'm going to say this now. Super 17 is like 3 episodes long and the ending made sense. I don't know. Like I said. Fuck Super 17. I like the character, but the saga was rushed. I did like Omega Shenron. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't watched it. Zephy just said I should watch it, and he said it's better than Super. Okay. Tarzan. Don't make a live action. Here's why. Trust me on this. Y'all don't want to see CGI gorillas. Y'all don't. You don't. Don't make a live action Tarzan. It's not that I don't think the story could be good in live action or anything. I don't want to see CGI gorillas. I don't. Well, they could probably make some pretty good CGI gorillas, and I only say that because I was thinking about Planet of the Apes. We just get, what's his name? Andy Serkis, who played all the gorillas in Planet of the Apes, get him out. Come do all the gorillas in Tarzan. It could be okay. But I just don't think, like, I think there'd be too much CG for it to make sense to make a live action. Haven't seen Fantasia or Dinosaur. Emperor's New Groove. I don't want to look at CGI Llama Man. I don't. Atlantis. How much money would it have to go into making live action Tarzan? Not as much as you think, because CG, they have a lot of, they basically, CG workers have no unions or protections, so they get paid pennies to work long hours, and it's like sweatshops, basically. It's actually really bad. Which is why, that's why Lion King is all CG. I'm going to tell you this right now. You ask, so why are things like costuming and makeup and hair all CG now? Like, you guys want to talk about how much CG is in the Marvel movies, for example. They don't film outside ever. They film on a green screen almost every scene. Brie Larson's hair in Captain Marvel was CG. Like, it wasn't that her hair was amplified with CG. She's wearing a wig cap and they CG hair onto her. Do you want to know why? Because hair, makeup, costumes, actors have unions. CG does not. It's cheaper to CG everything into a movie than to pay actors, well, not just actors, but to pay the makeup artist, to pay the hair artist, to pay the costumers. So they just CG everything. It's fucked up. Because they can ship the CG stuff off to, I don't know, Korea and be like, hey, work for 18 hours, 20 hours straight, putting CG on my movie for pennies. So how much money would go into making the live action Tarzan? Not as much as you would think, because they would probably ship most of it off to be CG'd. That's why Marvel movies are mostly CG. Because all other people in the movie industry have unions. So. Damn, that's fucked up. Yeah. Yeah. Atlantis. Like I was saying, I feel like you could make an interesting live action. Lilo and Stitch, don't make me look at CG Stitch. Do not make me look at Stitch. You can do it. You know who could do live action Lilo and Stitch? The only people that I would allow? The people who made the Sonic movie, because live action Sonic looks so good, y'all. Did y'all see Sonic 2? He looks so good. Knuckles and Tails, they all look so good, y'all. They could do live action Lilo and Stitch. Only them. They would make my boy look good. Treasure Planet, again, another movie that I feel would be an interesting live action movie. But it would have a lot of CG, so I don't know how much I feel. If they did Guillermo del Toro, my boy Knuckles, now I need Shadow and I can die happy. Did you not stay for the credits? Did you stay for the credits? You should have stayed for the credits. I mean, as in movie. I know, I can't wait. So Treasure Planet, Guillermo del Toro could do it good. I don't know if you guys know anything about Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro made Pan's Labyrinth. He made, what else did he make? I'm trying to think. Guillermo del Toro. Thank you, Google, for listening to me. He made Pan's Labyrinth. What else did he make? Hellboy, Pacific Rim. Those are not what I'm thinking of. I guess that's it. Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth. What's the other one? The Devil's Backbone. The reason I bring this up, I gotta run. I'll remind you Wednesday if you don't order before then. Have a good night. Thanks for the fun discussions. Of course. Bye, Igloo. I'll see you later. Guillermo del Toro and the people who make his movies could do Treasure Planet, because Guillermo del Toro is, his movies have a lot of actual practical effects and like actual costuming. If you guys have ever seen Pan's Labyrinth, all of that is actual costumes. Let me show you this. I mean, the Pale Man, that's actual prosthetics. The Fawn, all of this is actual costuming. None of this is CG. The eyes move, the horns move. All of this is real. So I think someone like Guillermo del Toro could make some of these movies really well, because he would push for more practical effects and real costuming. So I think like Treasure Planet in his hands would be really interesting. Um, so, yeah. Go watch Pan's Labyrinth if you haven't seen it. It's real good. It's originally in Spanish, just so y'all know. But yeah, I feel like if you're gonna do like real effects, Treasure Planet could be good. Like real makeup and stuff, because like there's like the cat girl. Oh, it's not gonna show the same picture. There's like a cat girl and stuff. Don't do Brother Bear, because that's mostly an animal movie. Don't do Home on the Range. Don't do Chicken Little. Meet the Robinsons. I feel like you kind of could do it, but it wouldn't... Like, the characters have such iconic designs, and it's kind of like the plot of the film, like his hair and everything. I feel like it wouldn't work in live action, because, well, yeah, like these characters have really iconic designs, and I don't feel like it would work really well in live action. Let Bolt Die. Princess and the Frog, again, don't really think it would make a good live action because there's so many animals. Like, don't do that. Let's go with the rest of this. Tangled, don't do it. I love Tangled. Don't make a live action of it because you're not going to make her hair look good. Her hair is just going to be awkward the whole time. Pooh Bear, we already talked about that. Encanto, I don't feel like it... Maybe if you really wanted to, but I feel like again it would have like a healthy amount of CGI, and I don't know if that would be good or bad. It could be interesting. Let's see, Wreck-It Ralph. This top row is not in order for some reason, and it bothers the hell out of me. Wreck-It Ralph. I don't think it needs to be live action because it's a video game movie. Leave it animated. Sorry, my friend was texting me. I'll text her back in a moment. Wreck-It Ralph doesn't need to be Frozen. Doesn't need to be live action either. Big Hero 6, again, it would have too much CGI because it's a hero movie. Zootopia, it's an animal movie. Don't do it. Moana, nothing happened to that movie. No, Moana doesn't need to be live action either. I don't think it would make a good live action movie. Ralph Breaks the Internet, same thing. It's a video game movie. Doesn't need to be live action. Frozen 2 doesn't need to be live action. Because I feel like Olaf and some of the ice effects just would not look good. Anyway, that was a whole lot of talk for no importance. But yeah, I just feel like a lot of these movies, let me double check what my friend just texted me. Sorry. I'm trying to make plans with my friend. My friend lives in Oregon, and we're trying to make plans to play Minecraft together. So, trying to do the time difference, and it's just a little difficult with our schedule, so I was just texting her back so she would know I'm not ignoring her. But I don't really have much else to say. Let's take a look at our tier list one more time. We have a pretty solid, like, tier list, I feel. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. I'd love to know, like, if you guys don't agree with the placement of some of these movies, or if you do. This was fun. I like discussion. I hate that we got a little distracted to talk about Dragon Ball. I'll have to do an anime stream one day, and we just talk about a bunch of anime and stuff, and just, you know. But, yeah, I feel like Disney is just picking the wrong movies to make a live action out of. So, I guess we'll see. You know, maybe they'll pick some of the right movies, maybe they won't. Like, maybe the Snow White movie will actually be really good. You know? The CGI combo, yeah. Yeah, it's something I learned recently. Like, it makes sense. It's not something I had thought about. But yeah, all these other things have unions. Like, I knew that. I knew that people on sets, like everyone on set, they have unions. I didn't think about the fact that, yeah, CGI people don't have unions. Most of this stuff gets shipped off to, like, somewhere in Asia, and they tell them to make all this animation, and there's not the same protections over there. There's just not. You hear it all the time with video game creators and stuff about, you know, getting forced to work long hours and not having protections and all this stuff, and getting pushed so video games don't come out late and everything. Like, that kind of stuff, just, they don't have the same protections. But people on sets, on film sets, they do. They just do, so they avoid using them as much as possible. It's fucked up. They don't want to pay people a living wage. So that's why we don't get as much, like, that's why there's just CG for all sorts of weird stuff in movies. You know, like, it's one thing to touch up a little bit here and there of some CG. It's another thing for, like, Brie Larson's hair is CG'd onto her. She's wearing a wig cap. Like, somebody put a picture of, like, the behind the scenes. She's wearing a wig cap. Like, she's just got her hair covered, and they CGI'd hair onto her. So we got Henry Cavill, Weird Jaw. Are you talking about, oh, what movie you're talking, what movie was that? That's the, that's in the, which movie was that? Was that Batman? Justice League, not Batman vs. Superman. It was in Justice League. Part of that was that they had to do reshoots. From what I heard, he had grown a mustache for a different film, and they had to do reshoots, and they wouldn't let him, the other production wouldn't let him shave the mustache, so they had to CG over to cover up the mustache, because they were like, can he shave his mustache and you guys CG it on? And they were like, no, he has to keep the mustache. So they had to CG it off. That's what I heard, at least. He did. He grew full. Was it a full beard? I thought it was just a mustache. Oh, shit. I thought it was just a mustache. It was a full beard? Oh, that's fucked up. But yeah, he had grown up for a different production, and they wouldn't let him shave it. So, yeah. Shit like that is crazy. Anyway, so next week we are going to talk about, so keep in mind, bear with me. We're going to talk about Great Mouse Detective. We're going to talk about Oliver and Company. We're going to skip Little Mermaid, and we're going to talk about Rescuers Down Under. We're going to talk about those three. The reason we're doing this is because I'm talking about the princess movies on their own. So Little Mermaid, I didn't want to do Little Mermaid and then just Rescuers and then Beauty and the Beast. So Rescuers Down Under, so we're going to do Great Mouse Detective, Oliver and Company, Rescuers Down Under. Then we're going to go back, do Little Mermaid. And then all of these are going to be like boom, 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 owned streams, because we're just going to talk about them all on their own. So, we're doing that. So, if you want, watch the movies before stream. We're going to talk about them. We're going to have a good time. I have not seen these three movies. Well, I've seen parts of Oliver and Company, but that was like 20 years ago. No, not quite that long. It's like 15 years ago. It's like 15 years ago. Different when Captain America had to cover his beard with his hand during Avengers end credit scene. Oh yeah, when he's in the first Avengers, when he's like this and he's like bent down and he can't see his face. I remember that. So yeah, we're gonna talk about those three, and I'm excited because I haven't really seen any of them. Like I said, I saw parts of Oliver and Company, but that was like 15 years ago. We were on a field trip and they had it playing on the bus, and like I don't even think we had the sound for it. So like I saw it, but I wasn't watching it. I was like playing on like, what was I playing on? Because I didn't have a phone or a DS or anything like that. I was probably reading or something. So, anyway, we're going to do that. Let's see if there's anybody to raid. I know we have a lot of people. With the way my phone has been going off, I know there's a handful of people. Oh yeah, we're going to raid Jenny. Okay, so be nice to my friend. This is my friend Jenny. She's going to be doing some art, so we're going to raid her. Okay, so, Infinite Terra. Anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you not tomorrow, but I will see you guys Tuesday. I'll see you guys on Tuesday, and we'll play some Kingdom Hearts. And I'll post my schedule either tomorrow or sometime Tuesday morning. Alrighty, love you guys. Bye.